Hi, this is Michelle from minimadesigns.com, and today I'm going to tell you about the power of WordPress navigation menus. Now, I'm currently working on a site for a client that's an online course. We've got a lot of content, and we're going to have a couple different layers of navigation. So let me show you what I'm talking about. Here I am on the Pages screen, and you can start to see a lot of the content that I have. Usually on our navigation, we're not going to show so many items. So let's go ahead and take a look at how we create our initial navigation menu. First, I'll want to go to Appearance and then Menus. Now, I typically name my main navigation menu Primary. You can certainly name it whatever you want to. Primary is what works for me. Go ahead and click Create Menu. Now you can see this area is active. First thing we'll want to do is add some pages over to our menu. So over here on the left-hand side, you're going to see Most Recent and View All. It might be on Most Recent, but to view all your pages, just click View All. Now, I know I'm going to want to have Home and About, maybe Contact. I'm going to go ahead and add those pages to my menu by clicking Add to Menu. Now you can see they show up here on the right-hand side. I'm going to go ahead and click Save Menu, and that creates my initial menu. Now, maybe I want to add more pages. I can always come back to here and select what other pages I want to show. Maybe the FAQ, I want to add that. And let's see. I think that's okay for me for now. But you know what? I don't want that FAQ to be last. I want contact to be last. So I'm going to go ahead and drag this to where I want it. Again, click Save Menu, and the menu is saved. Now the next step that I have to do is figure out where I want to display this menu. Now if I go to my test site here, you'll see I don't have a navigation menu showing yet. So typically I'm using a Genesis theme, we're going to have a right-hand area and then your main navigation area, which is typically underneath your logo. The other option we have is in our sidebar, and we'll show that in a little bit. For now, I think I want to use this right-hand area, so we'll modify that by going to our widgets. If you go back into WordPress and you go to Appearance and then Widgets, you see here we have the header right area. Now again, I'm using a Genesis child theme, and that header right area has been enabled. Not every theme will have this, but for this instance, let's use this. Now I'm going to scroll down here, and I'm going to see a widget called Custom Menu. When I drag that to the header right area, you'll see that I get the option to select my menu. Now right now we only have one menu called Primary, so that's what we're going to select, and click Save. When I go back to the site and refresh, you'll see that that menu shows up on the right-hand side. Earlier, I talked about using this other area right here. You see where we have the line. That's kind of like your main navigation area. So I think I want to also use that area to show the different weeks of the challenge. So let's add that next. First, I need to create the menu by going back to Appearance and Menus. And I'm going to click here to create a new menu. I'm going to call it Main Nav. Nav is just short for navigation. Again, you can name it whatever you want. Click Create Menu. And then if I go to view all my pages, I have week 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm going to go ahead and add to menu. And you can see here that I've got week 1, week 2, week 3, and 4. Now here's a little quick tip. You notice how week 4 is not written the same way as the other ones? I can actually change that here. You can also change the name of the page, but if I just wanted to modify it here, I could click this arrow, and you see it opens up, and I could say week 4. Just a little quick tip for you. Everything else looks okay, so I'm going to go ahead and click Save Menu. And next I'm going to click on Manage Locations. Now again, this is going to be theme dependent, but this is the primary navigation that I want to use for that full width of the page, so I'm going to select Main Nav. Again, clicking Save Changes. And when I go back to the test site and refresh, you'll see now I have week 1, week 2, week 3, and week 4. So again, it all depends on what you want to show to your user, but now we already have 2 navigation menus showing up. Now I talked about a third option in the sidebar, so let's do that next. We'll go back into Widgets underneath Appearance, and right now I'm using the primary sidebar, and let's see here, I want to use Custom Menu. When I drag Custom Menu over here, you'll see I get the option for different navigation menus. Again, I maybe want to just show that main navigation, the week 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'll click Save, and I'll refresh. And there we go. Now we have links to those different sections. Now you may want to put a title here that says course navigation or whatever makes sense for your users. One other place that we could put these widgets are in the footer. This is a great way to maybe replicate your main navigation. Say you have a really long page, like a long blog post. So we can easily do that again if we go back to our widgets area. And if we look at what our options are, you can see I've got footer 1, 2, and 3. Again, this is going to be theme dependent, but these are going to give us spaces where we could put additional information. So I'm going to go ahead and drag another custom menu, and I'm going to put it in that third block. And I'm going to choose the primary navigation, clicking save. When I refresh the screen and scroll down to the footer area, you'll see that navigation block. Now, I think I want to create a program page up here on the upper right-hand side that again links to these different modules. So let me show you how I'm going to do that. I'm going to go back to my menus, and I want to edit that primary menu. You see I have a couple of options to choose from. Now, I don't have a program page, but that's not a problem. I'm going to create what we call a parent placeholder. So here, underneath links, you're going to see by default it's going to give you the option here to put in a URL and then a menu item name. Well, here's a little trick that I like to employ for parent placeholder pages. Right here, I'm going to delete this and put the £. And then for the menu item, I'm going to say program calendar. And then click add to menu. I'm going to move that here and click save menu. Now when I refresh the page, it'll show up over here. And when I click on it, it's not going to go anywhere because it's not an actual link. But this is going to be our placeholder. I'm going to go back into the menu, and I'm going to select week 1, 2, 3, and 4, add to menu. And you notice they show up underneath. Whenever you add, it's going to show up underneath your items that you already have. So then I'm going to tuck these under that program calendar. And again, just change that name if I need to, and click Save Menu. Now when I refresh the page, those pages show up as children of the program calendar. And you can see that they show up as a dropdown. So this gives you a lot of flexibility with where and how you use your navigation menu items. For more tips and tricks and WordPress tutorials, come visit me at minimadesigns.com.